Overcoming resistance and doubt. This is the Manifestation Masterclass, Module 1, and it's totally free. Here's what we're going to cover. Why resistance and doubt shows up. How resistance slows manifestation. Releasing resistance and doubt. Key insight. A simple practice to shift instantly. Warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip, don't fast forward. Pro tip, watch the video in 2 times speed. Why resistance and doubt show up. First of all, let me just one more time say that this part of the Manifestation Masterclass is the module 1, and I am digging in to the things that I find very interesting and I want to share with you around manifestation. Some of it might show up more than once, and I invite you once again to think about that there's 2 kinds of people here. One kind of people is saying, oh, I already heard that. No news, not gonna learn anything. And guess what happens to those people? The other kind of people or person is saying, let me be open and curious. I am in a new place. I am in another place in my life. I just want to learn. And they are open and curious to whatever they are listening and learning. Guess what happens to those people? So once again, just decide if you are the first one who is locking down if things shows up again, or you are willing to be open and curious and excited to learn something new. With that said, let's move on. So why resistance and doubt show up? Subconscious safety mechanism. The subconscious mind is wired for survival, not growth. It sees change as a threat, triggering resistance to keep you in familiar territory. And I will share more about these things later on also, but it's so important to know and understand for us that everything that we know, everything that's in our reality right now, even though you might not have your reality, your life as you want it right now, but your subconscious mind, and I'm sharing with you in a moment how it works and why the subconscious mind is so powerful. The subconscious mind is doing its best to make you survive. That's how your whole mechanism is. And I did an interview in Danish with a very, very experienced neurocoach. And he shared an example like alarm bells, like you have like alarm system, and if something is interrupting in a room, the alarm goes on. That's kind of the same thing as how our subconscious safety mechanism is operating. It is so important because when we step into our dream life, anyone will experience that this safety mechanism, the alarm goes on. We spoke about it in the Manifestation Foundation, and if you haven't watched it yet, I would really invite you to do that because it will make much more sense, and these are just helping us to understand how powerful this is. And the more we understand it, but understand it with our whole being, and that will make even more sense for you in this training, the more we will understand and understand that when we step into, as it's said here, growth, when we step into our dream life, what you became clear on, what you want in the manifestation foundation, when we step in there, it's not familiar territory. So even though it's something that's better, up here it's something that you really want. You want to live that life, but it's not familiar territory. So the alarm clocks will go on. Together with this fear of the unknown, stepping outside your comfort zone activates doubt because your mind has no past reference for success in the new reality. Examples, anything bigger goals, or lose 10 pounds. So here also the comfort zone, most people understand the word comfort zone or have heard about it. And that comfort zone, I saw many years ago, elite soldiers speaking about the comfort zone because they worked with it and a lot with it because they always step outside of the comfort zone. And stepping outside of the comfort zone will trigger that safety mechanism in the subconscious mind. And it's just, the more that we understand this, the easier it will be for us to remove or walk through, or whatever we call it, the resistance. And in the Manifestation Foundation, I spoke about the wall or the gap. So again, if you set a goal for your business to double it up, you will have to step into, and I know because I did it, you will have to step into new areas. You'll have to step into things that are out of the familiar territory, whether it's hiring a new team member or doing bigger sales closes or getting on stage and speaking, whatever it is, you will, if you keep being in what's familiar, it's not possible to double up a business. Same thing here, if you want to lose 10 pounds, you will have to change something in your reality. And whether that is to eat differently or exercise more or whatever it is, it's out of the familiar territory, which means, so you'll know that when you step out of the comfort zone, you'll step into fear of the unknown. And together with it's out of the familiar territory and the alarm clock rings, you are out of your comfort zone here. And it tries to hold us back. That's the resistance. That's the inner resistance. Old beliefs resurfing. Manifestation challenges deep-seated limiting beliefs, causing internal conflict between what you desire and what you subconsciously believe is possible. Personal example, visualizing my next step. Again, in the Manifestation Foundation, those trainings, we're diving deep into this, but it's so important for us to understand that the limiting beliefs, it all goes together here. The limiting beliefs, the beliefs that helped us survive in a young age and we kept with us until we're becoming aware of them. And when we want to step into our dream life, the limiting beliefs will show up. Those limiting beliefs will cause the internal conflict between where you are right now and what you desire. And if you look at fear of the unknown and safety mechanism, we are built as human beings to stay where we are right now. So we have this inner or internal conflict. And the space between those two, the wall, the inner wall or the gap. And as I shared in the Manifestation Foundation training, it's inside. All of this is internal. So the thing here is also when we desire, and I've experienced this, when we desire something, subconsciously, as I write here, what we believe is possible, because we have not been there before. You are where you are right now. I'm going to speak about quantum things later on in another module, but we are where we are right now. And if we set a big goal, set a big money goal, I want to make $1 million this year. I want to double my business. Subconscious safety mechanism. This is what we experienced so far. This is what we know. So when you're visualizing, or something inside of you is attracted to this bigger goal, the limiting beliefs will pop up. There will be an exercise in this training that can help you, and also again in the Manifestation Foundation, also free in the community exercises that really can help you. So you'll be able to use those. So instead of the limiting belief that will keep you where you are, the important thing here is to shift those beliefs into supporting beliefs that will bring you to where you want to, your dream life. My personal example here is, after my years of really releasing and the emotional traumas and what I shared before, I began to feel this nudge or inner urge, or something is calling for me to share, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I began to visualize, okay, what is it that's happening here? I felt, because I've been really, this is my personal experience from right now, not long ago. I've been for some years really in a comfortable, calm, easy place where I didn't do very much else but being very aware about myself and my being, and releasing and releasing and releasing. So even though I released a lot, what I experienced was, when I began to feel this calling of sharing, I also began visualizing. I also began, all of what I'm sharing with you, all of the techniques, I also became aware, even from my visualization, that limiting beliefs showed up inside of me. Sometimes it was a thought, but mostly, and again I've shared in the Manifestation Foundation how this worked for me and for the people I've helped with this, mostly it was in my whole system. I felt the nervousness, and I felt that my sleep went a little not as good as it was when I was in a very calm and easy state. And all of this from my visualization, because something was calling for me. But again, those two triggers here, the safety mechanism and fear of the unknown, they were triggering me. So some limiting beliefs came up inside of me. And again, I know I'm saying this all the time, but if you want to go deeper with this, I'm going to share in module 1 more stuff, and in the modules that's going to be in the paid version, and also on our calls and things like that, it's going to be in the paid version. But if you want to go deeper with this, really an invitation, and you can even watch it again and again in the Manifestation Foundation, where I talk about the shifting of the mindset to supporting your beliefs to your dream life, and emotional releasing. What I did here, I got curious. Maybe you know this, most people have seen this, about the iceberg. So we got a little, with an iceberg, we see something above the water line, and then we got all the iceberg below. And I went and did some science fact checking here, and I want to share this with you. So there are a little different. Some says from 0.5 to 5, some say 10%, but I don't know if this counts or that matters too much. The fact is that the conscious mind is only, let's say, 5% here. And why is this so important? Let's look into it. Because the conscious mind is the part of our brain responsible for logical thinking, decision making, and I cannot change my window here, locks it down. Sorry about that. It is active when we are fully aware and engaged in the present moment. So, for example, a new goal. We set a new goal. We use this one. What the conscious mind controls: logical reasoning and critical thinking. You sit down and you think. You sit down, you go through your plus minus sheet. Willpower and decision making. I'm gonna dive even more into this because there's a clip and there's some new science that I really want to share. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but I'm going to share it somewhere about that. There is actually a special area in the brain that science just found out right now. And it's in both sides of our brain. We all have this area of our brain. Scientists now believe that this is the area that controls our willpower and even the will to live. It's so powerful. And okay, I'm taking a little sidetrack here. The one thing is that this area, it gets smaller if we are in our comfort zone, and it's growing when we get outside our comfort zone. So the good thing is that, for me as I see it, when we challenge ourselves, most people don't like it because what I just shared, but when we do it, this area grows, and this area is the area of the willpower. So it's kind of like an interesting thing because we don't want to go. Our system will do everything it can to pull us back. We don't want to do the things that's hard. We don't want to do the things we don't like to do. But when we do those things, this area, it actually, like the muscles, it grows, which creates more willpower for us. So when we begin stepping into challenging ourselves, manifesting our dream life, not from sitting on the beach and meditating all day as I did for a couple of years, but actually doing out and doing the stuff, even though we are manifesting and co-creating with the universe and all of these things, from my experience, we still will challenge ourselves. And the good thing is that from those challenges, and probably when you did something that challenged you, afterwards, that feeling, right? So, just important to mention this. Conscious mind, short-term memory, the working memory, voluntary actions, and intentional behavior. I'll give you an example soon. Focus and attention, analysis and problem solving. Limitations can only process about 40 to 50 bits of information per second. Remember that. Maybe even take a note because I'm going to share something which will kind of like whoa for me. Easily overwhelmed by too many choices or distractions. When I coached entrepreneurs, one of the first things that I shared with them was that if you really want to sit down and focus on something, first thing you're going to do is clean your desk. Some of them, they took a photo before they cleaned their desk and after they cleaned their desk. Now, before, their desk was some of the pictures, I'm like, wow, amazing. There was books and papers and whoa, it was filled. Lots of noise. And why did I say that? Because the fact that is here, the conscious mind is easily overwhelmed by too many choices or distractions. So maybe you know the story of the founder, the creator of Apple, Steve Jobs, lived in a house with as close to no furniture as you can be. It was kind of like nothing in there. And some of what I understand and looked into is about the same thing here. Keeping distractions out. The other example is juggling. When I did speakings, when I spoke about these things, I gave a participant one ball. I said, okay, throw it up and down. The participant threw it like a tennis ball, up and down. No problem. I said, okay, can you juggle with 2 balls? Who can do that? Okay, one raised their hands. I gave it to the person 2 balls, and no problem. Okay, how many can juggle with 3 balls? And less people throw their hands up. Some could, yes. Now, I ask how many of you can 4 balls? Normally, no. Maybe 1 could. So, one of the people that could do 3 balls, I said, okay, are you willing to do an experiment? They came on stage, juggled with 3 balls, and I just put in 1 more ball for them. So they had 4 balls. Everything fell down. Right? And this is exactly it. We can practice it, and if we practice, it goes into the subconscious. But the conscious mind, if we try to juggle too many things, it's gonna... And it's so important to understand this when you want to step into your dream life, that the conscious mind can only focus on a few things. Limited by willpower, which fatigues over time. And also here, you probably, and maybe even, and it's an idea just to stop the video and take a few notes from your own life where you put yourself into something, and maybe you had a lot of energy in the beginning and you just went for it, and then a week after, or 2 weeks, or 1 month after, no more willpower, giving up. Cannot override deep subconscious patterns without effort and repetition, which is also very important. And I shared this in the other training in Module 1, also in the Manifestation Foundation training. It's very important to understand that we got those subconscious patterns, beliefs, core beliefs. And when we change that, we got to put some effort into it. Like what I just mentioned, I spent some years releasing resistance, releasing old emotions, trapped emotions, traumas, all of that. But I sat down and did this, but it still required effort from me. And repetition. Now, and you probably know this, if you're an experienced entrepreneur, I don't know, maybe you have a team around you, maybe you don't, it's not that important, but if there's something you're good at, you're probably good at it because you did it a lot of times. When I started selling in the cleaning company that I doubled again and again and again, I was really not a good salesperson in the beginning, but after doing it again and again and again, and learning from all the learnings and improving and learning and improving, that's kind of like my focus was on this one. And after thousands of sales meetings, I became better, right? Same thing with the tennis or table tennis or running or whatever it is. We become better with practice. So even when we are stepping into our dream life, we will, whatever it is, it will require some kind of effort, but the more that we release the inner resistance, it will be easier and it will be more fun. It still requires that we take some action. And I'm going to share some powerful things that I learned that helped me a lot. So 95% is subconscious mind. So let's look at some facts too here. The subconscious mind is the powerhouse of our behaviors, habits, and emotional responses. It operates automatically underneath our conscious awareness, influencing almost everything we do. It's so important to understand. Let's look further into it. What the subconscious mind controls: habits and automatic behaviors, walking, driving, typing. And again here, just imagine this. I just mentioned the juggling example. So one person can juggle with one ball, another can with two, one can with three. I can do it with 3 balls. I can even do it now with 3 balls, even I didn't do it for a long time. Why? Because I practiced it some years. I juggled. I loved juggling. So it became an automatic behavior for me. And the same thing with everything we practice, it becomes an automatic behavior. And so, like I said with the sales meetings, you can, again, pause the video if you want to do this. Put some things in that you're good at. Just note things that you're good at. And then just think about, where did you learn this? How did you learn this? For most people, we practiced it. Driving, we practiced it. Walking, we practiced it in a young age. It didn't come just from nothing. We had to practice, and we have to fall down. We had to learn. We had to figure out the balance on all of this, right? Typing, languages. It didn't just pop in. I think I mentioned before, but most of the artists, the creativity, most of the biggest artists in the world, they did a lot of training before, and some of them became famous after they are not here anymore. I've just been on a movie set the last couple of days as I'm speaking now, and a young guy who was the script writer and also the director and instructor. It was a quite big film set for it's a short movie. This was his 5th or something production. And I could see, because I was in one of his earlier movies from a school project he was doing, I could see the difference because he improved. I improved my acting because I've been in so many short movies now. It's not that it's just like now I know everything. Something, and we're going to dive into this, some things are easier for people because it's something they kind of like, it feels like it's just natural for them. And even though it's natural for them, they still have to practice. Deeply ingrained beliefs and identity, including, we spoke about this in the Manifestation Foundation, but I'm not good enough, or money is hard to make. Things we learned in a very young age. We have the positive supporting beliefs, and we also have the limiting beliefs. They are in our subconscious mind. Long-term memory storage, experiences, skills, emotions. We even did some examples in the Manifestation Foundation. And again, it's in the free community. These are things that we experienced in our early ages. They got imprinted in our system. Emotional responses and trauma storage. Also, we spoke about this before. It's in our subconscious mind. It's instructing how our life is now. All of these things, I mentioned it before. It's like the projector in the movie, on the movie screen. It's a subconscious mind projecting your reality on your movie screen. Self-image and confidence levels. And still, it's in the subconscious mind. Body functions and automatic processes like breathing, digestion, heart rate, subconscious mind. I've experienced, the thing above here, the subconscious mind and the breathing and the heart rate, I've experienced, maybe you have too. If I knew something was on the line for me, going on stage before or going into a new film, I've experienced that my heart rate changed. I experienced my heart rate change. It's changed. I experienced that my sleep changed because my subconscious mind knew something is going on now. I'm putting myself out of my comfort zone. We better take care now. We had some bad experience in our past when we were young. People laughed at us. We don't want to go there anymore. So those things were triggered. And again, I shared in the Manifestation Foundation a very powerful exercise to release those things. And we're filtering reality through the RAS, the reticular activating system. And that filtering, again, I'm going to do more trainings on that, but it's coming from our subconsciously beliefs. Yes, the supporting, but also limiting. And again, we can have a very, very successful businessman who is very good at what he's doing, who has supporting beliefs around business and maybe money. But when it comes to a loving relationship, that businessman might have limiting beliefs. When it comes to health, that businessman or woman might have limiting beliefs. And so they might be very successful in one area but struggling in another. That's why in the Dream Life meditation and those exercises, we go into different areas of a person's life. And this mechanism, the RAS system, it's like a goal seeking machine. So it's filtering. We got so much stuff going on here, and we can only take in some of it. We can only take in some of all of the data. And if we got a belief saying I'm not good enough, our RAS system will look for things that I'm not good enough. If we got something in our system, maybe a trauma from childhood, where we were laughed at, saying that you're a clown, you will be laughed at. I had that. The RAS is looking for those things. So when we shift and release, we shift our mindset, release the emotional baggage, and we step into supporting beliefs like I am good enough, money is flowing to me, women or men, they like me, I can be open and authentic with a partner, things like that, supporting beliefs. The RAS system will begin to look for those things. But it's so important. I know some of the things I'm saying it again. 5% is up here. So because a person says the affirmations or keeps saying, okay, money flows to me, money flows to me, money flows to me. But if the 95% in there, the limiting belief says money is the root of all evilness, or rich people are not loving people. If we got that installed, see, the 5%, that's why sometimes it feels like we're going uphill or pushing something and it's struggle, and what I experienced for so many years. So we have to get down here. Dreams and intuition, subconscious mind, and how it shapes our life. The subconscious, remember I invited you to take a note of the conscious mind, how many bits it could take in. The subconscious mind processes 11 million bits of information per second. Per second. What is this? Overwhelmed by too many choices and distraction. I think that was from the last one, from the conscious mind. It runs 90 to 95% of our daily actions, thoughts, and emotions. So this is why I'm saying this is a powerful thing to understand, that the subconscious mind, when a person gives up or thinks they can't step into their dream life, they cannot achieve a goal, or it's not meant to be, and all of this, really, really, really understand that like 90 to 95% of all of what's happening in our life comes from the subconscious mind. One important thing too, it cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences. So there's a lot of data on this, and science did different measures and about if, and I'm going to share some of this to you in another module also, but about this, if is there, how much is it different if a person visualizes a thing or actually doing it? And from what I understand, I'm going to dive much more into this, but from what I understand, it's measured. You can see it, they can see it, we can see it in the brain if a person is visualizing, and if a person is, for instance, playing piano or doing basketball. And they see that the same path lit up in the brain. But also there's something about the fibers in the muscles and in the body where it's not as powerful as if we are doing the training, the actual training, but it's measured that some fibers or whatever it is actually lit up also from just the visualization. So that's why a lot of people are sports stars and things like that are doing the visualization. But I heard someone saying to me that but you don't even need to do the practice in real life. I don't think there's any science-based fact that you can get a world star basketball player or on the stage of a bodybuilding scene or ballet dance or whatever it is only from visualizing. So again, visualizing, and I'm going to talk about this later on too, but together with the practice. So it's 1 + 1 will give 3, 4, 5, whatever. Programs are installed before the age of 7 in a theta brainwave state, like a hypnosis. And I spoke about this in the Manifestation Foundation too. So it's just so important to understand for us that if you really want to manifest your dream life, a lot of what's going on in your life right now is like 95% is the subconscious mind. So all of what was installed so early in all of us and in you too, to really change, to really shift reality inside. It seeks familiarity and avoids change to maintain safety. We spoke about those before on the last slide. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Wow. This has been my life for so many years. I really like it. When we begin to understand all of these things, and what I shared in the Manifestation Foundation training here in the free masterclass, when you begin, this is why this is a magical journey, to become aware of what's going on inside. When you begin to be conscious about what's going on inside of you, the 95%, until you begin to become conscious about it, the 95%, this subconscious mind will direct your life. And this is the thing, what I experienced for so many years. I said, oh no, it's not meant to be. I said, oh no, my destiny is not this. Oh no, all of these things. And what I learned is that for me, now I'm really speaking about myself here, but also the people that I help. When I say things like that, it's also me taking the responsibility off of my shoulders and like saying, okay, somebody else, then it's somebody else's fault. If it's not working, it's somebody else's fault. But when I began to look at, become conscious, aware at what's going on in my 95%, I began to understand why things didn't work out for me. Robert Bly, the unconscious is like a big dark bag that we drag behind us. As children, we stuff it full of all the things we were told were unacceptable, our fears, emotions, instincts, and desires. As adults, that bag still influences us, whether we see it or not. How resistance slows manifestation. Energy blockage disrupt flow. Resistance creates energetic friction, blocking the natural flow of manifestation. When you resist, you send mixed signals to the universe, making it harder for your desires to materialize. I also went deep into this in another training. Even I shared how we measured the blood cells of people on on my 4-day camp that I did some years ago, and we saw exactly this. Most people feel this. Most people feel that when we are not in a natural flow of manifestation, and this is the whole thing I'm speaking about here. When we are not in the natural flow of manifestation, When there's too much of trauma, too much of limiting beliefs, of the emotions trapped, the energy trapped inside, it's friction, it's the resistance, it's the gap, those things that I speak about. And again, I also shared that, but it's mixed signals. So if you think about it like your projector from the subconscious, the whole being, also the 5%, you are creating your reality out here. You are creating your movie. Now, if on the film there's dream life, I want this magical relationship, and then in the next split second, 95% of the subconscious is saying you're not good enough to have a partner. Having a partner will hurt you. Dream life, dream life. So you see, it's mixed signals on the movie screen. And when we are not aware, so it's an invitation, if you're watching this, to keep doing the work, have fun with it, be curious about it. When we are not aware, we will have all of these things. When we begin to be aware and we shift the beliefs, we release the traumas, we will have more energy, we will experience better sleep, we will experience better results in our life, because that's what our RAS is looking for, and also some of the things that I will share with you about quantum and all of these things. But we will release the resistance, so it's getting much easier to manifest the things that you really want, and the universe will help you. Focus on fear attracts more fear. The more you focus on what's not working, the more of that reality you create. Resistance amplifies fear and doubt, shifting energy toward obstacles instead of opportunities. I spoke about the scale before. So if, like I had so much fear inside, I have so much guilt and shame from my childhood, and let's say that was the negative thing. It was on the negative side of the scale. And as I began to shift and release those things, I began feeling lighter inside, more energy inside. So when I began doing things like going to the gym again, or doing other things, speaking with women again, doing business again, it was easier. And when we see results, right? When we release the bad stuff, we see good results, like I did with my cleaning company. Okay, I got a new sale on the positive side. Wow, a new team member on the positive side. If we have a lot of fear going on inside, we will experience more of that fear. The scale is down here. It's on the heavier side. And probably, maybe I shared this before too, but probably people who are stressed all the time, say, I'm always late. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They attract more, I'm always late. Like the woman who shared in one of my speaking years ago, who said, all of this positivity things you're speaking about is good, but you don't know my life. Everybody's after me. I meet so much negativity in my life. There's a lot of beep in my life. How come? I say, go look in the mirror. You're speaking only about those things. You will attract more of those things because it's inside of you. It's what you focus on. So when we begin to shift, we can begin to focus on the positive things, which freedom, abundance, more loving relationship, all of those things, your dream life. Emotional resistance creates stagnation. Unresolved fears and limiting beliefs keep you stuck in old patterns. When emotions like doubt, frustration, or impatience dominate, they override clarity and alignment with your desires. When they dominate, when there's heavy energies inside on what a person might say the negative side of the scale, it will dominate. Makes sense, right? It will be pushed down. When we begin to release that, away went some of my childhood trauma around fear of being resisted or fear of being laughed at, away, 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 away. Wow. Higher energies, out with the lower energies. And now we can begin to look at some of the positive things, which will help us get clarity, which will help you be more in alignment with your desires. And manifestation requires alignment, not force. Trying to force results through resistance and control backfires. True manifestation happens through letting go, trust and alignment, not through pushing harder. And this is not, it's so important for me to say, from my experience again, this is not like, okay, I don't have to work, it's just coming to me. I tried that, it didn't work for me. I still had to do the actions. I'm still sitting and speaking with you. I'm still recording it. I'm still putting it up so you can see it and people on YouTube can see it. And that is action. But this action is aligned with what I want to share. It's aligned with my vision of helping and supporting more people with these things, helping and supporting more people to experience more freedom in their life. Makes sense? And when I experience something saying, wow, could I say this? Or when I went to this movie set, because that's also a very important thing in my life now, an actor. And I'm learning and I'm improving and all of this. And when I experience something here that's triggered inside of me, still showing up, I am going through that. I'm letting it go. I'm trusting the process. I am being loving and supporting to myself instead of what I learned in childhood, that boys don't cry and push harder and all of these things. I'm doing the opposite of that, because that's what I'm teaching in the Manifestation Foundation. Because when I let go of these things, it's more easy for me to be, even on the movie set I was on now, nervousness came up. But if I went into the nervousness and was with those energies and tried to force something, it wouldn't have been as great as me being nervous and acknowledging the nervousness, letting it pass through me, and then doing my acting. Same thing with you stepping into your dream life. So, real life example, the job you never got and why. I was thinking about this, and this example is for a job. It could also be for you receiving more money. It could also be for you having a loving relationship. Imagine you desperately want a new job. You apply to dozens of positions, but hear nothing back. Frustration builds and doubts creep in. Thoughts like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe it's too competitive. What if I never find a better job? Those thoughts comes from frustration, from fear. Instead of being in alignment with your goal, alignment would be confidence, excitement, trust in the process. Now you are energetically pushing against it. Your focus now will be on lack and failure, which slows down the manifestation. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe it's too competitive. What if I never find a better job? Fear. But the moment you let go of the fear, trusting that the right opportunity will come, focusing on the positive thing, you suddenly receive an unexpected email from a recruiter or stumble upon the perfect role. Your shift in energy removes the resistance, allowing the manifestation to unfold naturally. Watch it again if you want. You can find experiences in your life where this happens. So, and this is, I'm going to give you a very great exercise in a moment here. It's about shifting our energies all of the time. So you'll shift your reality too. Lesson from this: resistance repels what you want. Alignment attracts it effortlessly. Now, this is an example. I experienced this so many times in my life. Resistance repels what you want. That's why when we try with force, I learned when I started from one of my first mentors, I learned that, okay, if you sell, he used different words, but if you sell with force, it's like running after a rabbit with a carrot. What happens? The carrot runs away. Not the carrot, the rabbit runs away. So instead, and this is how manifestation works, you have the carrot, you walk a little bit towards it, you put the carrot down, and you maybe step a little back, and the rabbit will come and grab the carrot if it wants it, right? This is the difference between resistance and alignment. Repels what you want, attract it. Repels what you want, attract it. It's powerful stuff. All right, let's move on. Releasing resistance and doubt. Awareness is the first step. You can't release what you don't know, what you don't acknowledge. Identify the fears, the doubts, or limiting beliefs that create resistance in your manifestation process. Observe how they show up in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And in the Manifestation Foundation, in the Manifestation Masterclass, which is free, we got it all in there, documents, the exercises, so you can start doing these things and shift your reality. Awareness is the first step. Like one of the quotes I just shared with you, becoming conscious about what's going on in the unconscious, and we can begin to shift it. Again, the tricky part here is that our subconscious might not like that you begin to look at your limiting beliefs because they're familiar to you. So when we begin to become aware, most people are not aware of these things. Most people will not do this work. So if you're doing the work, I acknowledge you, you should clap yourself on the back for doing this. Give yourself some love and support. I will give it to you too. Most people will not do this. So fact is, thoughts running, I cannot do this, I'm not good enough at this, this can only be very bad, I'm gonna be a clown in there, whatever it is. And if we begin to unlock the next step or the deeper level, we'll begin to feel the nervousness, we'll begin to experience a physical body where it's still locked in, and it could take us back, hold us back, never go into our dream life. But when we begin to observe this and understand it's all from the old programming, and now you have what you need, or you're on the path to what you need to release it, to shift it, it's going to be easier to do the steps. You stepping into the things you desire. Shift from fear to trust. Resistance thrives on fear and control. Instead of forcing outcomes, shift into trust. Believe that what you desire is already making its way to you, and let go of the need to control every step. Now, this is actually not a part of this, but these two tattoos here on the left is letting go. I did this a couple, maybe 4 years ago. Letting go. It was so powerful for me to begin to understand letting go of the fears, of the traumas. And this one is taking. Take in what I want. Let go of the things that is resistance and take the things that I want. Take my dream life. Take the things that I want in my life. Emotional release frees energy. That was how it was. Doubt and fear stored in the body as emotional energy. So when we begin to release, these are also techniques, but from my experience, what I'm sharing in the Manifestation Foundation in the free class is the most powerful thing. But I went through a lot of things. So some of the things that can help you also is practices like breath work. I'm going to share some of the things that helped me. Journaling, I will really invite you. I said it a couple of times and we did exercises too. Journal what's going on in your life, because you will begin to be more aware, and as you practice this, you will begin to experience like you can step out and you can just look from the outside. Okay, Michael is now thinking about what can go wrong again, and he feels nervousness. Let's shift it. And I'm going to help you shifting with a very powerful small exercise in a moment. EFT tapping. Probably going to share something around that also, but it's a powerful technique. Tapping different places on our body, which help us release the trapped emotions and clearing space for new empowering beliefs to take root. Sometimes I see this like a puzzle. So for one person, you might be one place in your life, and it might be the tapping that helps you, or the day after it might be the breath work that helps you. Still, most powerful for me, what I experienced and what I help clients with, is the energetic release from just being with it. Rewire your subconscious mind. Your subconscious runs the show. We've been through that. Replace limiting beliefs with new empowering ones through repetition, visualization, and affirmations. The more you reinforce the new belief, the faster resistance dissolves. Limiting beliefs, where we are right now, dream life right here. The more we release and shift the limiting beliefs and create supporting beliefs to where we want to go. Your dream life. If you in your dream life you want a very intimate and loving relationship with all the juices and all the things that really like you feel like, wow, this is my dream life in the relationship area. Supporting beliefs like I am a loving man or loving woman. I attract loving men or loving women. I am worthy of a loving relationship. I'm worthy of a loving and intimate relationship. I helped you in the foundation manifestation to create the supporting beliefs. And as those supporting beliefs become like installed or integrated, whatever it's called, in the subconscious mind, it will be more and more natural for you to attract these things. Key insight: resistance blocks manifestation. Your energy creates your reality. Manifestation isn't just about thoughts, it's about energy. If your energy is filled with doubt, fear, or resistance, you attract more of the same. Shifting your internal state is the fastest way to shift your external reality. Once again, I know I repeat this all the time, but in the Manifestation Foundation, there are trainings for all of this for you to dive into it. And that is in the Manifestation Masterclass. It's free, so if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link below the video, and you can join from there. And if you want to go even further with it, there will be a paid version where we'll do live calls and things like that to really help you shift. What you resist persists. The more you fight against fear and doubt, the stronger they become. Instead of pushing them away, acknowledge them, understand them, and allow them to pass. Resistance dissolves when met with awareness, not force. That's why we covered this before, but love and support. The more you love and support yourself, it's gonna be easier. It's one of the biggest things. It's one of the biggest things from the Bible, as I read it. It's one of the biggest things from many of the philosophers throughout our history is love, and loving ourselves. The more we really love ourselves, let go of the fears, the angers, the frustration, the more love that we have inside, the more love we can really share. Releasing creates flow. Letting go of attachment and control allows energy to flow naturally. When you surrender resistance and trust the process, you make space for your manifestations to unfold with ease. Manifestation Foundation training again, and also the paid calls in the paid group. But I put so much into all of this free Manifestation Masterclass because I really just want to help you to get as much as possible here. And then when you know what I'm speaking about, when you feel good about it, and for people when they begin to trust and all of this, if you want to take a step further, and really I look forward to that in the paid group. Your subconscious holds the power. Manifestation happens from the inside out. Your subconscious beliefs determine your results. The key insight: change your subconscious patterns and your external world will follow. All right, a simple practice to shift instantly. We'll go through this as soon as I'm finished with this presentation, because this training, I got it in another document. I tried a couple of times before. This presentation will lock down, so it's easier for me. So I'll go through this. We'll after go into the document. Summary: we went through why resistance and doubt shows up and how resistance slows manifestation, releasing resistance and doubt, key insights, and a simple practice to shift instantly. We're going to do that now, go through that now. Now let's go to that work. So let's open it. I got it ready for us here. This document, if you are in our free Masterclass community, this document will be below. So I'll just run through it very fast, and you can just download it or make a copy of it. So it's just for you to do. If you are on YouTube and you want this document, you're more than welcome to join our free Masterclass. And there's a link below. So this is a simple practice to shift instantly from Module 1. Why instant shifts are possible. Your eternal state, thoughts, emotion, and energy creates your reality. Change happens the moment you shift your focus and energy. The mind and body respond instantly when given the right signal. And the power of the present moment. Most people live in their past conditioning or future worries, all coming from fears deep-rooted. The present moment is where manifestation happens, because we can only be aware. You can only be aware of what's going on inside of you right now. So the now is where it all happens. Accessing presence allows you to bypass resistance and reprogram instantly. So it's now we're going to do this. It's not tomorrow, it's not in a week from now, it's not a week in the past, it's now, all the time. And here's the practice, step by step, the instant shift practice. So first of all, pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. So 3 deep breaths to help you bring awareness to where you are right now. And if you want to take it even further, be really conscious about your breathing. Follow the breath 3 times. Step 2, awareness check. Very good exercise. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? What am I focusing on right now? And just answer it. And again, pen and paper is the best thing. What I've experienced is, if I can do this in my thoughts, but if I ask myself and even write down, what am I focusing on right now? Might come up, I'm stressed about my acting performance next week. I am thinking that my daughter is coming home late today. Things like that. Okay, write it down. And what I've found myself, if I don't think too much but just write, it's kind of like, what my image of this is, my subconscious is writing. I'm taking the 5% out and just letting my subconscious write whatever's going on. What am I focusing on right now? Step 3, flip the script. If negative, choose a thought that aligns with your desired reality. And here's an invitation again. You can find your beliefs from Belief Shift Exercise in the Manifestation Masterclass Foundation, the free version. So if there's something going on inside of you in the moment that's not aligned with your desired, your dream life, well, what you can do is flip it. So, okay, I am stressed about this. Change it into something positive. I'm happy that I'm going to that next week, or what amazing things will happen, or this is a path this is the step on my journey as an actor, or things like that. Be creative here. Just shift it from the negative into something positive. And it takes a little practice, but the thing is, as we do this, it's possible for us, that's the next step, to feel right now. We shift the emotion to match the new belief. So shifting from the stress feeling to, okay, I'm actually excited, or it's a great way for me to learn more, or I will meet more people, or whatever it is. I'll put it on my CV, I'll make another movie, whatever it is. And you'll find your stuff. And then getting into the gratitude and the excitement or confidence, saying, okay, this is my 25th or 6th short movie now. I am confident that I know what's going on. I'll have a new great experience. That's much more powerful than I'm stressed about if I break something on the stage or in the movie, right? And even, okay, what am I grateful about this experience? I'm grateful that I actually got the job. I'm grateful that I know I will meet new people. I'm grateful for being able to travel through the country and not having expenses around it. Things like that, and just feel it and get into that. Shift from there into here. And step 5, embody and take a micro action. Align with the new energy through a small aligned action. And what could that be? Well, obviously it depends on what it is, but if it's like me on being on the movie set, it could be like, okay, I'm now going to practice one more time. Or I'm going to look at one of my older movies that I was really proud of. Things like that, that will enforce, that will power up in the align, the supporting, the positive thinking. Why this works. Shifts your focus. And let me step back one. That was just another thought here. So embody and take micro action. So if it was better health, in the moment, it could be that a person is getting into, it doesn't work for me eating healthy and blah, blah, blah. I'm never going to lose those pounds. And feeling negative or feeling the urge to eat something bad. Awareness, catch, flip, feel it, the positive thing. And then the micro action could be, okay, the old version would have taken a chocolate or some chips. The new version, after doing this, is consciously deciding to eat a carrot instead. Right? And now you can even celebrate it. So that's a micro action, shifting into the new from here to here. Right? And now even you have something that you can use the next time, saying that I am so grateful that the last time I had this urge to eat some chocolate, I had a carrot instead. I'm proud of myself. I feel good about myself. I can do that again. I'm doing that again right now. Micro action. Why this works? It shifts your focus and it activates new neural pathways. It changes the emotional state and raises vibration instantly. And aligns subconscious and conscious mind. Manifestation happens faster. And again, if we take, okay, eating chocolate with a carrot, we shift that. So, and this is very micromanagement, but again, it's those things will add up. So chocolate, no thanks, I'm eating carrot and I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling really good about it because I am stepping into my dream life. No thanks, chocolate, carrot, 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 carrot. So now it's up here, the pathways, and the rest are looking for more of that. So going into a restaurant next time, okay, should I eat the fatty burger or should I'll have that salad. Because the pathways and the rest is helping you. So action steps here. Try this practice multiple times today and tomorrow and the day after. Try this and put it in your alarm or somewhere where you'll really get notified about this. Observe how your energy shifts and what starts changing. And being aware, being conscious about this. And feel free to share your experience in the community, in the masterclass Manifestation Masterclass, the free. The key to manifestation isn't waiting, it's shifting right now. Shifting right now. So, and again, this document will be below the video. So let's go get to work. This was it for this training. Another powerful, as I mentioned before, I'm taking it all in one training instead of splitting it up. Obviously, you can stop and pause and come back and all of these things. I just want to get it all in, so we are conscious about what we're doing here. So if you are listening, watching this right now, I applaud you for doing this. If you signed the commitment contract in the welcoming in the start here, I applaud you for doing this work, and do this to yourself. Love and support to you. See you in the next one.